I actually.
All right, let's do this. Let's for her take. If you or somebody you know, Rob, just put the link below if you don't mind. Put the link below if you want to nominate anybody. I got swamped by so many messages. I'll nominate myself. I'll nominate myself. I'll nominate myself. If you have anybody that you recommend, we now have a list of over 100 ladies that would like to be on Her Take. And we're excited about it. We're going to build that into a top show for 2027, 2028. And very, very excited about that show. And I think it's going to turn into something very special. We had a very good Zoom yesterday talking about what the plans are with the show. What happened? What happened, Tom?
No, what you were talking about.
Oh, okay. So and so having said that, for those of you guys that would like to nominate somebody, you can simply go to this form, put their name down. And the biggest thing for us is, guys, this person needs to have influence. You know, some of you guys are putting some, look, I've never posted a video on YouTube before. I've never done anything, but I think I would be great. We need folks that have experience doing this. So if there's anybody you like that you want to nominate, put their names there. Or if it's yourself and you're somebody that you've done a lot of content and you want to be part of this show, we'd love to talk to you. We're looking for the host. We're looking for co-host. We're looking for co-hosts because we're going to have a rotation because a lot of people live in different places. But the person that would be the main host, we need that person to be in South Florida because we want to drive a lot of eyeballs to Her Take. This was one of the biggest weeks of eyeballs going to Her Take. And
yeah, no shit.
Phenomenal.
And that's what's so funny about this. He's talking about how it's phenomenal that Jillian Michaels quit. And it really did backfire, not just on Jillian Michaels herself, as we're about to show you guys. Her own comment section on her own YouTube channel is in total revolt. But she also accidentally kind of blew up not only Ana Kasparian's profile with the kind of people that Anna's currently trying to appeal to, and Her Take itself. As Patrick said, this is probably the most attention the show has received since it launched by far. Kind of a shitty show. This is the only thing that got people to actually take notice. So I think that everyone involved, probably Ana Kasparian specifically, is probably thrilled about the way this all worked out, because not only are they looking for a new co-host, I think it's going to give Ana the opportunity to kind of assume the role of the alpha female. Yep. You know, the top dog, and she can kind of assert herself in the way that Jillian clearly was previously. Jillian talked about how she helped Ana get that job. She even went so far as to take credit for it and said, like, you know, I got Ana that job. So clearly Ana didn't feel like she could truly throw her weight around behind the scenes, given that she was a later addition to the panel. She wasn't one of the original, like, founding members, so to speak, in the way that Jillian seemed to be, because Jillian helped her get the job. Now she'll have that authority over whoever's, you know, going to replace Jillian. Ana will be the one that was there before. She'll be the one calling the shots. And I imagine that Her Take really will become like her show in the way that it kind of was Jillian's show. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. If you guys replay the moment we react to it, that's exactly what I said was going to happen. That Ana Kasparian was now going to be the most prominent and the most established figure on the show. The reason PBD went with Jillian wasn't because of anything that she had to say. It was that she was confident in front of a TV camera. Jillian was very good at being herself while the cameras were rolling. Why? Because she had the most experience besides Ana, and she had a different kind of experience. Ana has a lot of experience doing what Gavin and I do right here, which is sitting next to somebody that you're deeply familiar with, that you have a very large amount of trust established with, and it makes you more confident and it makes you more comfortable, and this becomes like your safe space, right? So the thing that we have at the Vanguard in our studio, this is where Gavin and I are comfy. We can debate with each other as much as we want because we know we're boys. We'll go smoke a bowl, walk over and after it. It's never awkward. You never have to worry about somebody getting up and storming out. Like Gavin would not just like storm out of my fucking house. You know what I mean? If he did, we would have to have a huge conversation afterward, right? But it would be like unthinkable. That's what Anna's accustomed to. Where Jillian Michaels was, you know, trained, right, where she cut her teeth, was in this very chaotic environment of The Biggest Loser. She was supposed to scream at people. She was at times going to get screamed at. She didn't know who was going to stay, who was going to go, if the producer was going to be mad. One thing that people brought up, Gavin, that I didn't know about until recently was that Jillian Michaels quit The Biggest Loser 3 times as a way of negotiating her fucking salary to get higher. So she probably thought this was going to be some sort of an effective strategy for her, for them to just come begging for her to return. But instead, when they didn't, she got her feelings hurt, said she was going to quit, when PBD was basically like, well, why didn't you come to me? This was your own fucking fault. Be a big girl, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm completely with you, Gavin. I think, if anything, I would be very nervous if I was, do you know who? Who? I'd be nervous if I was Cenk Uygur. I'd be
Ooh.
nervous if I was Cenk Uygur, because if Ana does take the center stage in this, if she does become the leader of her take, if she does, continue her transition into being, I am the leftmost conservative, which I think is where she wants to position herself. She's like, oh, I'm not the craziest conservative. I'm the leftmost conservative. I think that's her new brand. I think that's what she wants to lean into. I think there's a lot more money in it for her than there is at the Young Turks. And I was a holdout for a long time saying nobody else is going to want Ana. This is a job she could have. If it became a million sub channel, I think she'd leave the Young Turks. Do you think Cenk is worried that, this is going to be the end of the line for him and Ana?
Ooh, that's a good point. Ooh. Wow, I didn't really think about it that way, but potentially. I still do feel like Ana would prefer to leverage this gig into something even bigger on Fox News or, one of the like cable networks. Like I think she could potentially go even higher than her take if she really wants to, and if she keeps building her profile with like right-wing media and stuff. But yeah, if I was Cenk, I would definitely be worried about that for sure. I mean, I've been theorizing for literally years now that Ana's been looking for a way out. She doesn't want to keep working at TYT, which is why she barely even shows up to the Poly Market studio these days. Half the time she's zooming in from her fucking living room or whatever with like a 480, HD or not even HD camera. Either way, it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. But yeah, pretty spicy stuff. It looks like they're definitely going to continue the show. They're looking for replacements. As you said, they already built that set. They already put the show together. It would have been a huge waste of money to just completely scrap it after all of that work and money. So I can see why they're doing it. Do you have any predictions about who might be recruited or who would be interested in joining the Her Take cohort?
It's interesting, right? Because I think you have to approach it by who is going to be interested in hitching their wagon to PBD. I don't think anybody is going to want to directly hitch their wagon to Her Take because it's not a very established show. If I go over to the Her Take YouTube channel, I see right now recently it's done okay numbers. It's done numbers.
It's pretty new though.
Right. For
21
sure.
Episodes in.
Yeah, exactly. But you're not going to be wowed. It's not like, oh my gosh, it's going crazy, 100K views on the video clips. They're not at that level yet. So I think it's probably going to be, I think we should say 50% chance in my view, it's somebody we haven't heard of. 50% chance it's somebody like an Amy Dangerfield, like this is all fronting from PBD. It's all just him being a con man. It's all just him creating mystique and creating a faux desirability and creating demand where there isn't any to make it seem like tons of people want to work with him. I think it's very strange for him to have set it up like this if there were a lot of people who actually wanted to join Her Take, if there were big names that we were going to recognize that wanted to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a conservative voice that I myself am not familiar with. I would say there's like a 50% chance it's that. And if not, I would say that it's going to be somebody like
someone out of PBD's harem.
that would be somebody that we don't know. That would be somebody that we don't know. If it is somebody we do know, I think it's somebody that's like clearly washed. Somebody who
Tommy Lahren.
That is exactly what I'm thinking. That I was about to say it'd be like a former Fox Blondie, like something like that. Tommy Lahren is a great guest. Tommy Lahren is a great guest.
She's already been on Her Take, remember? She came on.
And she's signed to the Blaze, right? Because she lost her spot on Fox News after she said her
it was the other way around. She went to Fox after losing her gig on the Blaze.
Gotcha. Either way, so she's been around the block. She has some credibility. She's been established, but she's definitely like her stock is low. You could buy cheap on Tommy Lahren right now.
Yeah, that would actually be like if I was Tommy, I would leap at that opportunity. I also was a little bit confused when PBD said like they have to move to Florida or live in Florida or whatever. I'm like, I was a little bit confused by that. Is the Her Take studio, is it in Florida?
Yeah, it's in Florida. And here's what also is interesting.
So Ana's flying all the way across the country every time they do an in-studio episode?
Yeah, but I imagine that they film a couple of in-studio episodes, and then sometimes that's why she's in the Zoom call. What I think is interesting, Gavin, is he specifies in this that if you want to be the lead person, if you want to be the head anchor, you have to be in Florida. Would he make Ana go live in Florida if she's going to be the lead anchor and then she decides she's only calling in to California? She hates living in California. She's been bitching about it nonstop.
I was about to say the same thing because someone in chat was like, Ana, there's no way Ana would move to Florida. Have you heard how much she hates where she lives right now? She can't go a single show without bitching about the state of California. So I actually wouldn't be shocked at all if she hightails it to Florida. There's a convenient way to ditch Cenk. Sorry, I'm living on the other side of the fucking world now.
Yeah, I mean, it's
her husband's from Florida. Someone just pointed this out.
Zero
Holy
state
shit.
income tax. If you make it, on the internet like that, that's a savings for a lot of people. It's about the same price. You're on the beach again. She's also going to be way closer to a lot of MAGA people, a lot of pundits who are going to be more favorable to her viewpoints. I wouldn't put it past her to move, man. That would be me. Like, okay, who knows for sure? But if I'm Cenk, these would be the things that would be spiraling through my fucking brain. You know what I mean? And to be honest, Gavin, this is something you've said before. I think it might end up being the best thing that could happen for the Young Turks if Ana moved on, went to her take full time, and then it really just did become a stripped down network where every time you tune into the Young Turks, it's either Cenk, John Iadarola, Dr. Rashad Ritchie, somebody that from TYT. And they'll roll their eyes at Cenk, but at least then you don't have two people that are saying conservative, stupid shit all the time.
Yeah, no, I totally think that, honestly, if I was giving Cenk business advice, I would tell him just to make TYT into what secular talk is for Kyle, like a video where he uploads his take in video form. He obviously could go live. But yeah, I think it's ridiculous that TYT at this point has to sustain a 2-hour live show every weekday. Half the time, it's not even Cenk. It's just some random fucking producer or some random D-list political commentator. No one gives a fuck about that. People only give a shit about Cenk's opinion and Ana's to some extent as well. So I agree with that.
Cenk would crush it doing that. He would absolutely murder. I think a video of Cenk sitting in his backyard like Kyle does right before or right after a breaking news event, 500,000 views, way more views than he's getting right now for the average TYT video.
Yeah, it seems like that's the best kind of TYT content is when it is just Cenk giving a hot take or, his predictions or whatever, even though they rarely turn out to be true. Let's listen to the end of this real quick one more time. And then I want to show you another clip from Jillian Michaels' YouTube channel where she addressed this controversy and tried to double down on the smears of Ana. So I want to take a look at that and then show you also the crazy comment section where basically nobody is defending her.
South Florida, because we want to drive a lot of eyeballs to her take. This was one of the biggest weeks of eyeballs going to her take. And it's a phenomenal concept that we're excited about long term. So again, Rob, did you put the link in comment section in the description?
And it's also pinned. Yep.
Fantastic. Just go click on a link, nominate anybody you think would be good on that show. We would love to speak with them. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos.
Yeah.
He loses 5 years in that jump thing right here. He's also put on maybe 15 pounds since then. He looks a lot more sprightly in that last one. It looks like he just went on vacation, got a nice tan, sipped some pina coladas. Now, that's a stressful, man. That's a little doughier version of PBD, if I do say so myself, before we get to this jump clip.
Yeah, this is before he had to corral all these crazy chicks on the her take. Either way, yeah, let's take a look over here. Again, Jillian Michaels, for some, I guess this is potentially from the same conversation that, but I'm not sure because it seems like that was from James Lee's podcast, the one we reacted to the other day. So it seems like she went on his podcast and then she had James Lee on her podcast to continue this never-ending just fucking spiral out of control. She keeps digging the grave deeper and deeper, thinking that she's gonna change people's mind. When in reality, she's just digging the hole deeper, like I said, as we're going to show you guys in the comment section. But take a look here. She tries to desperately convince James Lee that Ana's comments on Israel really are truly concerning.
Can I ask you though? Because here's my question, because this is something that I found alarming. So when this narrative turns into a video that I'm getting sent from people, is this too far for you? Dead honest. Is it too far?
Here. Is it over here?
She's trying to
I mean, you've heard it. But
she's trying to show her laptop,
question.
boomer.
I don't hear Netanyahu.
Israelis watching this right now. I want you
Israelis.
I want you to understand this, okay? Because others are very afraid. I get the IDF sending me pictures of their weapons, talking about how they're going to slaughter me. I'm not afraid of you.
If that happened, horrifying.
Words in American media, they can F off. They're not like me. I'm different. I'm not afraid of you. Okay. So while you're cashing checks that are funded by my tax dollars and the tax dollars of my fellow Americans, I need you to understand something clearly. You are hated internationally.
That's a little intense.
Not really.
Don't be
Where's the lie?
mistaken based on the propaganda you hear in American media. That's not representative of how the American people feel about you. You're hated. And it's not because you're Jewish.
Now we're
It's not
Jewish.
It's not because they're Jewish.
When you act like absolute demons.
It's not because you're Jewish. So
International.
So I'm confused.
Oh, she's
'cause you
saying
didn't
it's
say
not
it's because
you're
of
Jewish. Oh, it's not. Well, what is it? Well, it's because your government's doing agendas. Oh, it's because of the government. Well, who's in that government? Israelis. And that's why you call them Israelis. It's like this is a nothing burger. We'd love to roast Anna, but this is nothing.
Yeah, it's almost like she like accidentally played the wrong clip that like made the opposite point that she was trying to make, because Anna goes out of her way to specify it has nothing to do with Judaism. Chill. And then she's still like, see? Isn't this shocking? As if Anna had said it was about Judaism. Like, that's not what she said. Did you not hear what she fucking said? You're just pearl clutching over like her tone because she's like pissed off at this country who's committing genocide. Guess what? Go back and like check people's pulse on how they felt about like South Africa or whatever during the peak of the global resistance to their apartheid. You know what I'm saying? People probably would have said, fuck South Africa. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say that about our country right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, this is so funny watching her awkwardly try to like, act like this is the most scandalous clip ever.
So I'm confused because you didn't say it's because of Netanyahu's choices. You didn't say it's the Israeli government. In my opinion, that crossed the line for me. I
would never say anything like. I mean, that's.
But James, that's my point. This is where it's like
because that's saying the Israeli people now bear responsibility for government policies, which is unfair. Because I mean, if you go to that on Americans, we're responsible for all kinds of atrocities and coups and all kinds of things.
Exactly. I'm guessing you're not a Trumper.
I'm not a big, Trump guy.
Okay, now then, presuming that you probably disagree with a lot of his positions and policies. If I hated you and said death to all Americans because of Trump,
she did not say death to all Israelis. That's crazy. That's just such a leap. What the fuck? Obviously, no one would have agreed with that.
Yeah, and also, if you did say death to all Americans and you were from another country that we'd bomb the shit up, I'd be like, you know what? That guy's pissed off. Let's see if we can negotiate over time and settle things down.
Yeah. People from around the world say shit like that all the time to Americans. Like, fuck Americans. They're a bunch of dumb fucking idiots. Like, yeah. I'm not going to sit here as an American and pretend like I'm the subject of like anti-American racism or something. Like, come on.
Oh, no. I mean, even in the immediate aftermath of October 7th, when I was having conversations with my dad was like, I've been to fucking Israel, right? Like, I know like what the West Bank looks like. I know like the way that, there's definitely two classes of citizens. And he was like, but it's also true, is what he would tell me. He'd be like, they all fucking hate America over there, man. He was like, there's all these fucking flags and shit, like death to America and shit. I was like, yeah, because we've been starving them and persecuting them and giving Israel all the fucking weapons to make their life hell. That's why they fucking hate us. I don't deny or dispute the fact that if you went over there, some people have unsavory feelings towards Americans, in the same way that I don't doubt that they have unsavory feelings towards Israelis over there, right? But I mean, hey, what the fuck do you expect after you destroy a country like Iraq? You destroy Afghanistan, you destroy, half the fucking Middle East. This is in the aftermath of we'd already done a bunch of fucked up shit in Iran. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. 100%. It's just so crazy to pearl clutch over that. And I'm sure, again, we criticize Anna probably just about more than anyone, but I'm sure that Anna would concede that there are people living in Israel who are against what Netanyahu's doing, and they're totally horrified by the actions of their government, the genocidal actions of their government, in the same way that we're totally horrified by our government funding that government. Right? Like, there are lots of Israelis. In fact, some of the top Israeli human rights groups have done some of the best work in accurately identifying what's going on as a genocide, because they have insight from within the government. They can speak the language that's being broadcast where the war crimes are being, made clear. Right? And they've condemned it for what it is. So, of course, there are people in Israel who have the correct attitude towards this and protest their government. I think Ana would concede that.
Oh, of course. And that's something that we've always said throughout our entire time covering this is like, hey guys, as evil and fucking intolerable as this is, you have to remember the United States has also perpetrated a lot of evil and intolerable shit. And just like there's good people like you and me and Gavin here, there's good people over there too, even though the government is totally overrun by the most psychopathic, insane people.
Right. Let's take in a few more minutes of this.
That is where that to me, that crosses the line. That to me stokes anti-Semitism. And that is the part that I was like, Ana, too much, dude. For me, you do it on your platform.
You literally hosted Ann Coulter on your show. Ann Coulter, who literally made a whole career off of just saying the most like violently fucking racist, insanely bigoted shit. The most backward shit ever. Now you want to act like this one comment from Ana Kasparian where she's like pissed off at the Israeli government. You're going to act like that's crossing the line. Like you're all of a sudden this fucking like woke college kid in 2016 who's like trying to cancel Ben Shapiro from speaking at the university or something. Like that's literally what she sounds like. This crosses the line, and I don't think this should be tolerated. It's endangering minorities. Shut the fuck up. It's so unbearable to see her just hold this total double standard where again she smiled and happily welcomed people like Ann Coulter to her set.
I didn't have her removed from her take. I left her take. And I didn't like, this is where I don't censor Ana. I don't censor anybody. I don't call for censorship. I don't call for canceling ever. Never happened. I don't call to boycott channels, nothing like that. But if I don't want to participate, that's my right. Does that make sense?
Right. 100%. Yeah. I mean, looking at that, I mean, I'm generally a big.
Yeah. So pretty funny stuff, right? Just a total pearl clutch, total woke scold nonsense. She didn't even really have a rebuttal to like Anna's point. It's not like she's out here. It's not like she's really even defending Israel that much. Like, okay, what's your fucking? You're literally just woke scolding. You're literally just pearl clutching. It's not like Ana spread misinformation or something. Because in that segment, Ana even said, "I don't believe these conspiracy theories, the ones about Israel and the connection to Charlie Kirk's murder." She said, "I don't believe the theory." But it's just the fact that she was like too mean or something that really got under Jillian's skin. That's what's hilarious about this. She doesn't actually like really dispute anything.
Yeah, she's angry about the fact that they discussed the fact that there was a conspiracy going around, right? And they were going to talk about how it didn't add up. But because Lindy or Amy Dangerfield or somebody said the name of the gray zone, she like immediately gets up in arms and she's like, oh, that guy's taking Russian money from Tenant Media. Oh my gosh, dude, that guy's been published in Al Jazeera, which is like, if you're going to attack Max Blumenthal, you're going to start with this Al Jazeera reporting. It's like, come on, lady, like you're not very good at this. And then she clearly realizes that she's outmatched, right? She's going to be overpowered. It's going to be 3-on-1. And she doesn't have the conviction. She doesn't have the mental fortitude, the ability in her view to combat this, to actually actively engage in a debate, which is insane given the fact that that's your job. That is what you are supposed to do. That's why you were sat the fuck down there and made the head panelist, right? Because when everybody else is breaking left, you can run right and make an interesting show. That's conflict creates an interesting show. Gavin and I get excited when we debate because we're like, oh, damn, this is good content. We have two different POVs that can go back and forth on top of whatever we're
I'm going to have to
discussing.
storm out one of these days. Now that you said you can't imagine it.
I know.
I'll
be like,
you're going to have to imagine it. I'm going to fucking storm off.
I'll just fucking lock the door and change the password. And I'll be like, he quit, everyone. I'm sorry. I don't know.
My show.
I'm going to go full Mark Zuckerberg now.
Oh, God. But yeah, let's take a look real quick at our comment section, too, because, again, this got a measly 16,000 views. Even though her channel has 500,000 subscribers, only 16,000 people gave enough of a fuck to watch this pathetic fucking video.
It's because 550,000 thought they were getting workout videos 10 years ago, and that's when they subscribed.
Exactly. But let's take a look at the comments, because you'd expect there at least to be some Jillian defenders or simps in her own frickin' comment section, right? Not really. Completely unwatchable. For someone who claims to be uninformed, she is absolutely certain in her views. Not humble at all, just repeating Barry Weiss.
Brutal.
Jillian, are you reading the comments across almost all social media platforms? There's nothing wrong with disagreeing with others' opinion on Israel, but you need to let the conversation happen and stop trying to tune it out. Nobody accused Israel of the assassination, but they want to talk about Israel. Bubbles and echo chambers aren't ... I don't know why that one just randomly ends. Really disappointed by Jillian's reaction. Ana was right. 89% of Israeli Jews support the war. Nice try, Jillian. Basically, I don't see anyone defending her. All I'm seeing is Jillian saying she doesn't know shit about anything. So why is she always talking politics and hosting a podcast about politics? A point I've been making for a while now. I'm like, why the fuck are you talking about anything?
Yeah, exactly. And, this person sums it up really well. They were not accusing Israel of anything on her take. They were laying out the discussions going on in the community online 100%. You don't get to make the discourse when you're in the discourse business. You get to react to the discourse. We're in the reaction business, right? We're in the, oh, hey, what are people talking about? That's the discourse. We're going to react to it business. I am not in the business of, nor are any of the ladies on her take in the business of generating news, generating discourse. Okay. Mildly, when Jillian stormed out, she created some discourse, but only in small communities like ours that cover this kind of a thing, right? If you want to make national discourse, you have to be a big player. You have to be a huge whale. And even then, most of the time, the discourse only lasts 24, 48 hours. So you just have to take what's there and run with it and talk about it. If it offends you, this fucking discourse, good. That's a take. Go out there on her take and talk about how offensive and shameful all the other ladies are. You know what your boss Patrick's going to be doing? Very good, very good. We're just widened our metrics. Very good. Now, I love ladies that love Jillian, but they hate Ana Kasparian. That's great. That's more viewers. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. That's what he's going to want from you. But you're so dumb. You don't have anything to offer, nor do you understand the business that you just decided to run headfirst into. It's crazy.
Yep, 100%. And again, it's possible that Jillian has a gig lined up at something, like
Free Press.
The Free Press, yeah, which is going to be merged with CBS News in a ridiculous fashion. So it's possible she already has like something set up. It's possible she's going to be totally fine. But if not, I do really think this will hinder her ability to keep growing as an online commentator in the way that she had been. Because again, this backlash is immense. No one is fucking with this. I genuinely think it's going to impact her appeal with the sort of people that she frankly needs to appeal to in this lane. And I think this comment really sums that up, pointing out how she, criticized Candace Owens. It would have been one thing if Jillian Michaels had just behind the scenes stepped away from her take, but kept it on the DL. Her trying to make it into a big public, virtue signal stunt where she not only shut down the conversation and stormed off set, but then also went on to trash people like Candace Owens. Who the fuck do you think your audience listens to, Jillian? Candace Owens is one of the top growing, highest viewed conservative commentators right now. She is probably the hottest name in conservative media.
Besides Nick Fuentes.
And that's only because, and she's bigger than Nick Fuentes because she's on YouTube and stuff, unlike Fuentes who's, sequestered off.
He had 24 hours, 12 hours of glory.
Yeah, exactly, before YouTube took him down again. But either way, Candace Owens is huge with the people that are in the her take audience and almost everyone who watches conservative media. So for her to try to criticize Candace Owens too, you just can't shoot for the king like that. If you're someone like Jillian Michaels, and expect to come out on top. Come on. Obviously these idiots in your audience are going to side with Candace Owens and the other people on the panel over you. I just can't believe she thought she could really pull this off.
Well, I think it comes down to ignorance and naivete, right? I just think she has a genuine, profound lack of understanding for the media space that she's in. Gavin and I, we have a robust understanding of the media space that she's in, and that's why we knew this was never in a million years going to work. But I think she's stuck in the past. Many of the people she's talking to are rich people who are not particularly relevant, right? That's her social circle. Well, she's espousing a lot of ideas and beliefs that rich, out-of-touch people espouse, but that nobody in the modern age actually believes if you're a normal person. She's completely out of touch. She's doing she's basically trying to feed spoon-fed talking points to people who don't exist anymore, right? This amorphous Jimmy Kimmel kind of audience that just wants to be fed a bunch of 2015 style media talking points, but that's dead, right? Because people have had to watch with fucking graphic detail the horrifying realities of what Israel is doing in Palestine, right? So you can't just cape for Israel and be like, oh, well, I don't hate the Jews like you. Yeah, fuck you, dude. None of us hate Jewish people. You just have no love in your heart for Palestinians, and we do, because we're normal, empathizing human beings, right? So she doesn't have a market. There's no audience for her. And so she got all huffed and puffy because she thought she was with a bunch of crazy people. She didn't understand that is the mainstream of the Republican Party now.
Look out the door if you hear an ambulance. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there. Be